Many years ago, there lived an old Japanese couple who were rice farmers and had a pet dog. They loved the dog like a baby, and the dog loved them back with all its heart. The rice farmer was kind to all living things and fed the birds on his farm. One day, the old farmer was working in his rice fields. The dog pawed the rice farmer, trying to draw his attention to a particular spot. The rice farmer followed the dog to the spot. The dog started digging at the earth with its paws. The rice farmer dug his hoe in the ground and found a glittering pile of gold. The rice farmer and his wife invited their friends to a feast to celebrate their new wealth and pampered the dog. Now, a wicked couple also lived in the same village. When they heard about the gold, they decided to get the dog to find a treasure for them. They dragged the frightened dog to their house and tried to feed him, but he refused to eat. When they took him outside, the dog began digging under a pine tree. The old couple began digging quickly, hoping to find buried treasure. Instead, they found a dead kitten buried in the ground. They were so angry with the dog that they killed him. Then they buried the dog in the hole near the pine tree. The dog's owner wept and mourned the death of his dear dog. That night, the dog appeared in the old rice farmer's dream. He told the rice farmer to cut down the pine tree and make a bow on a hand mill. The dog's owner wept and mourned the death of his dear dog. That night, the dog appeared in the old rice farmer's dream. He told the rice farmer to cut down the pine tree and make a bow and a hand mill from its wood. Next morning, the farmer cut down the tree and used the pine wood to make a bow and hand mill. The old farmer couple decided to make some rice pastry and bean sauce for New Year. The old man began mashing some boiled rice in the pine wood bowl. After a while, the lump of crushed rice turned into gold coins. Then the old woman decided to grind the boiled beans using the pine wood hand mill. Every drop of bean sauce turned into gold. The rice farmer and his wife were rich once again. The jealous neighbors borrowed the pine wood bowl and the hand mill from the old rice farmer. They began crushing rice in the pine wood bowl. The mashed rice turned into a stinking heap of worms. Angrily, they chopped up the wooden hammer to use as firewood. After some days, the dog's spirit appeared in the old farmer's dream again. He told the old man that his neighbors had burned the pine tree bowl and mill. The dog instructed the rice farmer to sprinkle the ashes of the pine tree on dead trees to make them bloom. The rice farmer requested the wicked couple to give him some of the ashes of the burned hand mill. The wicked couple angrily allowed him to do so. The rice farmer went home and sprinkled a pinch of the ashes on his barren cherry tree. Immediately, the cherry tree had beautiful and fragrant pink flowers. One day, landlord was passing by the rice farmer's village. The rice farmer did not kneel down on the road to show reverence to the landlord, as was the custom. Instead, he climbed up a dried cherry tree. Just as the landlord's royal cart approached, he sprinkled some ashes on the dried cherry tree. The tree blossomed immediately. The landlord was very happy. He thanked the rice farmer and gave him many gifts. Again, the greedy neighbor decided to imitate the old man. He collected some ashes from his fireplace. One day, another landlord's procession was passing by on the highway. The wicked man climbed a dry cherry tree. He threw some ashes on the tree, but nothing happened. Instead, the landlord and his wife began to sneeze and cough. The landlord's soldier beat the wicked man to death. The old rice farmer lived happily for long years with his wife.